All right, we are back, and we are concluding the Ring of Honor Survival of the Fittest.
Fucking 4 months in the making.
Night 3, 2017 in Oklahoma City.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, like, we're here, so we are survival of the fittest.
It's been a long day.
We did survive. So, we opened up with the pre-show match. Chandler Hopkins and Coyote versus the Dogs.
Romantic touch.
I mean, discount Tatanka, right?
Discount Tatanka, you're right. Well, I mean, they did say he was trained by Tatanka.
Right. But,
yeah, right.
Okay, Tatanka light.
So Titus does a scoop slam to Coyote. Hopkins does does the Kali chop to Ferrara.
It's a coyote.
Hopkins at this point fingers Ferrara's ass.
Oh my god. Speaking of.
Yeah.
Hopkins does an atomic drop to Ferrara. The Dogs do a catapult clothesline to Hopkins. The Dogs do a suplex to Hopkins. Titus slammed Ferrara onto Hopkins, and then Titus does a splash to Hopkins. Coyote does a top rope chop to Titus.
Word.
Ferrara does a BML clothesline to Coyote.
Words.
Titus does a frog splash to Coyote, and the Dogs win.
Yeah. This,
the
only thing I took from this match was the old cliche of a tag team that argues but still wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing we said the last time they had a tag team match.
Yeah.
They did the same thing in that match.
Well, no, they were in at least they were in the title match at that one. It was a fatal 4-way.
There's a little sequence where Ferrara tries to throw Titus into Hopkins while Hopkins was in the corner, and Titus says, "No, fuck that. I'm gonna throw you into the corner." Hopkins with Titus throws Ferrara into Hopkins, and then Titus uses Ferrara to he hasn't been a body slam. He's just using his legs as a weapon. So I mean that's pretty much what the story of the match was.
Yeah, they did some interesting moves. What are we thinking for ratings?
It's
5.
Basic. Yeah, basic.
5.
Yeah.
It's a pre-show match. I didn't expect much.
Early podcast notes.
So then we open up the show with Josh the Goods Woods versus Jay Lethal.
Yay!
Woods does a nice hammerlock to Lethal. There's some nice chain wrestling from just both of them. Woods and Lethal have a battle of chop/kicks, so Lethal will do a chop, Woods will do a kick. Woods does a nice back suplex to Lethal. Woods does a jawbreaker to Lethal. Lethal does a cartwheel kick and a drop kick to Woods. Then Lethal does a back elbow. Lethal does a back elbow to Woods. Lethal does a springboard drop kick to Woods. Lethal does an enziguri to Woods and a tope to Woods. Lethal does the lethal combination to Woods. Lethal then attempted the Hail to the King top rope elbow, but was caught in an arm bar by Woods. Lethal does a cutter to Woods. Lethal then tried to do the lethal injection, but it was reversed into a rear naked choke by Woods, which is pretty cool. Lethal finally hit the Hail to the King elbow, and then Lethal did the lethal injection to Woods, so Jay Lethal takes home the victory.
As he should.
Yeah, this match was fun. I like the streamers. I haven't seen him in a while. It's been a while since we did Ring of Honor. And when Jay Lethal came in, he was pretty much flooded with streamers, so it's always fun. I like Woods with his MMA gimmick. He makes it work. I don't know what he's doing now.
It's the same thing. It's just he's teaming up with Silas Young.
What the fuck? Where do you get there? How do you get there?
I don't know. It's kind of like staying in the same plateau.
But how does Silas go from Beer City Bruiser to Woods?
Because Bruiser goes to Malone's.
Yeah. Oh, there was a Keith Lee versus Brian Malone's match I almost sent you.
Okay. Yeah, Lethal never fails to have a great match, and this one is no different. All the combinations these guys put together, the reversals at the end, and I didn't know he named the elbow drop Hail to the King. I think it's a cool name. Hail to the King is the Macho Man.
Yep.
I gave it a 7. I liked it.
Gave it 7.5.
Yeah, 7's right. It was good, but not great.
It was really good to see two different style of wrestler in this one versus like if you were to put, let's say, don't get me wrong, like a Marty Scurll or something would be a good match, but those are two more well-rounded athletes compared. When Woods isn't known from like doing topes and kind of that type of shit, he's known for just I'm gonna ground and pound and submissions.
Yep.
So then did we have the next match, or do we have a promo?
There was no promo.
There's hardly any promos except for all three of those at one point.
All right. So then we have Gregory James, who comes out with Jessica James, and versus Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Also, Jessica James is fucking Cobra Commander.
Yeah, she had a Cobra Commander mask on.
And we didn't know who she was until she was on commentator later.
Yeah.
Commentary later. Jesus, commentary.
So James does a shoulder tackle to Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger does one back to James. Jessica James chokes Cheeseburger out.
Cobra Commander.
Cheeseburger does a knee to
That's the only name I'm
James.
going to call her now.
And then the Briscoes come out. And the Briscoes start cutting a promo and beating the fuck out of Cheeseburger and James, so that match ends in a no contest.
Do you know who we are? We're the Briscoe. Come on. Jesus Christ.
I did like when they're yelling personally at individual fans.
It was hilarious.
Sit down, you fat ass.
I don't. Yeah, I mean they were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just don't like the
Briscoes in a
Briscoes.
second.
I'm not like.
So, I mean, I didn't really write down what the promo was, obviously, because that's not
most of this
my
them
work.
yelling and telling them how much they suck.
Okay, well, first of all, they get in the ring. Obviously, they beat both guys up. They were doing a lot of freaking Booker T and Usos kind of promo styles here. Like, the Usos, I don't know. I caught like bits of like, do you know who? I don't remember now either.
Mark is really trying to sound black.
Yeah, I guess so. And they're just. Yeah, it's just rambling nonsense. It seemed to me. Well, they did say all your parents here are in Oklahoma are failures. I mean, there's that.
Failures, and there's no one to look at, like no one to follow their lead or something like that.
And then Cheeseburger eventually steps up to him, and a Cheeseburger chance comes out, and Cheeseburger wants to fight Jay.
We have an impromptu match between Cheeseburger. No rating on the first match. Impromptu match between Cheeseburger and Jay.
So Cheeseburger takes on Jay Briscoe. We'll do the ratings for the other quote unquote match after this.
It was nothing. It was not even.
Briscoe does a clothesline and a slam to Cheeseburger. Briscoe does a suplex to Cheeseburger. Briscoe then starts choking Cheeseburger with something. We couldn't tell what it was.
Was it his chain?
It was something. It wasn't a chain either. It was it's like a black wire thing. It's weird.
Cheeseburger did a super kick to Briscoe. Cheeseburger tried to he did a shote to Briscoe. Briscoe then did 2 Death Valley drivers to Cheeseburger in a row. Then Briscoe hit the J Driller. So Jay
taunted
Briscoe
the crowd
wins.
because the crowd's like, do it one more time, and he's like, oh, okay, and then he just pinned him instead.
Yeah. So the Gregory James and Cheeseburger thing, I rated it a 1, just because there was nothing there.
I wanted to see this Gregory James guy.
I'm gonna rate that a 5 because there was a basic ass match before they got interrupted.
Well, yeah. I'm rating it only a 1 just due to the fact that.
Whatever, keep going. I can edit that.
Just due to the fact that nothing happened. Is it still actually recording?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only reason why I rated that a 1, because nothing really happened.
And I was interested in this Gregory James guy. I mean, he had an interesting look to him, and I want to see what he could do. And I was kind of disappointed too that I got cut in half just for the sake of the Briscoes. I'm not the biggest Briscoe mark either.
I don't mind the Briscoes. It's just like it would have been nice had they just let this match finish and then did their thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
I'm not sure how to rate it either. I don't know. I mean, I want to give it a 5, like Legend said, but at the same time, I just don't think that it ever got anywhere. So
that's why I rated it a 1, because they didn't really get to do anything.
I'm gonna give it a 2 because of it was actually pretty interesting for the few minutes they were wrestling. So I'll give it a 2. Either way,
I rated the Jay Briscoe Cheeseburger match a 4.
I actually went to a 5. I didn't mind the fact that like Cheeseburger got some stuff in. And it went longer than I thought. So so Cheeseburger didn't get squashed like some punk, you know.
No, but it was, I don't know, it was pretty squashy to me. What did you think about Jay Briscoe and Cheeseburger match?
It was pretty much a squash with a few flurries in there. But
did you have any notes on the Cheeseburger Jay Briscoe part of it, or is that pretty much it?
Let's see here. I like the there was one spot where there's Jay was doing a wheelbarrow and Cheeseburger reversed it into a victory roll, and like the crowd was really behind that 2 count. But the second Jay hit that press slam into the Death Valley driver, I was like, okay, shit's over, you know. But I mean, like, I guess it was like as good a squash match as you're going to get. Cheeseburger still got some shit in. I mean, that's why I gave it a 5. It seemed like it was par for the course.
That makes sense. Like, you know, obviously we're not going to argue with ratings with you and shit. It's not us.
I'm also not going to try to convince you that Darby Allin versus Cody was 9.5.
But the segment as a whole, it was pointless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree. Like,
A number of
Had
things
there-
on this show was pointless, though.
had it made like a tag match between Cheeseburger and James versus the Briscoes, or had the Briscoe segment happened after the James Cheeseburger match, it might have been a lot.
Yeah, but it didn't make any sense. These two guys get their match. They don't even get the chance to finish it. And then for some reason, Cheeseburger wants to fight Jay Briscoe at this point. And then I was like, yeah, it's whatever.
Cheeseburger probably wanted to fight Briscoe just because of the fact that he was technically out there and didn't get his match.
All right, well,
I
The
mean,
other guy's like,
James
I guess
got
I'm
cut.
done, so he left.
Yeah.
and besides, Cheeseburger might have beat Gregory James, and I don't think I've seen a Cheeseburger win yet.
I don't think so either.
I can't remember.
Singles anyway. I think he's won a tag team match.
He
but-
might have won on one of the pre-show matches. I can't remember though. So then, was there a merch spot after this?
No, not till after the next one.
Okay. So then we got Kikutaro versus Joey
fucking fuck.
Ryan.
I marked out when Joey Ryan came out.
I think you marked out when Kikutaro came out too.
Yeah, just because I didn't know who he was. If I didn't know who he was, I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Just because the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
So at this point, Ryan is trying to make Kikutaro touch his dick.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, Kukutaro goes, "Oh, I'll touch your dick," and ends up grabbing Joey Ryan's chest hair.
Yeah, and pulls it off like a.
You don't want to talk about him giving a sucker he was sucking onto a fan, and the fan was like sensually
bring that
sucking
up.
it.
Yeah, that was,
Fucking crap.
I was gonna
that's
bring that up.
normally Albert's thing to bring that.
I brought it up because I wanted.
Kukutaro clotheslines the ref into Joey Ryan in the corner. Yeah, that was fun. Kukutaro does an arm drag
There's a move.
to Ryan.
There's
An actual move.
wrestling moves in this match, not just trying to grab his dick.
Ryan does a big boot, the choke in the corner to Kukutaro, and all four corners, and he's rubbing his leg at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a. Oh, do you want to see it? Could take a look, and then he goes, "Oh, you want to see it?" And it goes to every corner.
Stacy Keebler spot.
Joey Ryan
Yeah.
countered a bulldog by Kukutaro. Kukutaro then gave Joey Ryan an atomic drop on the back side, and it was totally fine. And then he did it in the front, and Joey Ryan's penis is too strong.
Yeah. And then don't forget.
The headbutt.
Then Kukutaro gives Ryan a sucker. Actually, first off, Ryan grabs a sucker out of his dick,
Out of his trunks.
and he
It
gives
wasn't in his dick.
No, it's an,
in his
it's an
trunks by
unwrapped
his
sucker
dick.
in his trunk. I don't give a shit.
I know.
and he gives it to Kukutaro. So that's awesome.
This is awesome.
Then Kukutaro
Awesome.
licks the sucker, and Ryan puts it back.
He super kicks him first.
Oh yeah, he super kicks him first and puts it back in his pants.
Oh, this is so awful.
So then Kukutaro touches his dick.
Now, we're going to talk about this. Is this the ending?
No, it's getting there.
Because I want to talk about the microphone spot part.
Kukutaro touches his dick, does the dick flip.
Yeah, so that is this part.
Then Joey Ryan gives him the dick sucker again, and super kicks him in the face, and Joey Ryan wins.
It just makes me laugh because at the end there, when he's like, I'm going to perform my finishing move. And then
Yeah.
Joey
Yeah,
Ryan
he-
reverses it, grabs the microphone. Yeah, he talks too much. Now is the time where I make him touch my dick.
Yeah.
It was hilarious because Kukutaro's like, "Thank you for coming to the Ring of Honor show.
Yeah.
RingOfHonor.com.
That's
I
still,
am going to do my finishing move."
Yeah. And then Joey Ryan's like, "Fuck you."
He talks too much. I'm gonna make him touch my dick.
Yeah. So
He said,
I'm-
now's the part that he touches my dick.
Yeah, so like,
God.
the is a comedy match, and it's still fucking funny to see Joey Ryan do his shit. So yeah,
Never again.
Joey Ryan chant breaks out. It has to.
He'll be
And,
on something
so-
else probably.
So, Joey Ryan comes out to the ring with a sucker in his mouth, and so he always pulls it out and says, "Who wants it?" And he points to somewhere in the crowd, and he finds this random guy at ringside, and he's sitting there with his head tilted back and his mouth wide open. You're basically.
It's so bad.
And the sucker goes right in, and he's like, good.
He pulls
yeah.
it out and just like,
Yeah, licks it like, yeah.
He's
weird.
sucking it like a penis.
So Joey Ryan has a little ritual where he puts baby
Let's
oil on
love
himself,
popsicles.
and he proceeds to put it on his chest and his legs. He also opens up his trunks and blip, 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 right on his dick.
Michael Nakazawa copied him.
Touch my dick chance broke out more than once.
Touch his dick.
And then Joey Ryan is going to Kikutaro. Touch my dick. Yeah, the chest hair spot. The end.
God.
This match was pure comedy gold. Joey Ryan's funny as shit. It wasn't really a wrestling match. It was, but for the sake of comedy, I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7 as well.
6.5. I only like the dick
Hater.
spot. I only like the dick spot.
I thought you were gonna give it a 6.9.
No.
There's no 9s in this game.
It's
Come
6.69, by the way.
on. Ooh, hey.
Ooh.
69ers.
It's 4.2069 is what it is.
It's this match is exactly what it had to be because like there is some serious wrestling and you have to have the kind of match like this. So I totally understand it. It's not like I'm looking at this like this is stupid, but because I'm pretty sure at some point Joey Ryan would cut off the Super Troopers look and with the friggin' dark cop like sunglasses and the hairy chest and the open shirt and be serious one day. I would like to see that because like he's so known for being the dick flip guy.
Well,
So, but this is exactly what it was. It was a comedy spot. Let you up. You wanted to go take a piss, get something to eat.
I'm good.
Have at it. So, cool. I'm cool with that.
I'll talk about my one gripe about match placement later because I
Okay.
would have placed this later on in the show.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Not exactly right here.
Yeah, a little bit between other things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only issue I had with it. I think it was just too early in the show.
Yeah.
Had it have been a little later, it would have been more impactful.
Yeah, not to mention it could have cut off some of the monotony of a certain sequence we're going to talk about later.
But
So after that, we had a Ring of Honor Wrestling.com commercial. So pretty much just went over to the website. You can shop there. You can watch matches there, I guess. I mean, I was like, whatever. I don't care. I don't need a commercial for Ring of Honor during a Ring of Honor show, even if it is for the net or the the website. I don't care.
the part that I like is when we do the merch spots every show. But
Yeah.
that's not the merch spot yet.
That comes after. Oh wow, where is it? It's coming up. Oh yeah, it's after the women's match. Okay.
All right. So then next we have Rhett Titus comes out, and he's issuing an open challenge,
Double duty.
and Marty Scurll answers the open challenge, so that's pretty cool. So Marty Scurll is originally going for the hand. Scurll does a drop toe hold to Titus, and then steps on Titus's fingers. Scurll kicks Titus in the arm. Titus does a clothesline to Scurll on the barricade. Scurll does a straight jacket backstabber to Titus. Scurll does an uppercut and some chops to Titus. Scurll steps on Titus's hand and then does a drop kick to Titus. Scurll kicks Titus in the knee. Titus then does a drop kick to Scurll. Scurll then quote-unquote breaks Titus's fingers, which he does sell for the rest of the match, which is actually nice.
I was actually really cool about that. I'm sorry, it was really cool that he did that.
Titus does a big boot to Scurll. Then he's attempting a different a suplex, and Scurll actually reverses it into the chicken wing, and Scurll makes Titus tap out.
Yeah.
Chicken wing!
Yeah.
We need Squirrel.
Squirrel?
There's a point I'm getting there. We need
Okay.
Squirrel to be managed by Don Callis.
How come?
Squirrel! Jackal and Squirrel. Squirrel and Jackal.
I wonder if Rhett Titus ever wanted to make his first name Peppa. I mean,
Oh my God!
He
Come
was the romantic touch.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
This match was kind of all over the place for me. There wasn't really any. To me, I think they were just unfocused in this match. I'm not sure why.
I think it's because it was an open challenge thing, because they said they had to mess around with the card because of injuries.
Hepatitis A, B, or C?
Oh, A, obviously.
Okay.
Because it's the first guy. I mean, okay. So I will say this though, there was some cool things like the selling of the fingers, even though he had his hand all like mangled and it made it look like it was mangled. I'm sorry, Rhett Titus did that. Sorry, audio podcast, and
Points at the
and
microphone.
I mean, it was technically good, but to me, it was kind of all over the place. There wasn't any real selling at the beginning of the match and in the middle. It was just like one spot would be done by one guy, then the other guy would respond, and was like, I'm bored with this. But at the end though
Avoid with this.
was when it was really cool was the finish, and like I said with the selling of the hand. And I like when submissions are get quick tap outs. I mean, the submission is totally effective.
Yep, and
So I
that
think
was a
that-
quick tap out.
I'm not sure. So you said this was as a result. This match was as a result of injuries because
I would assume so, just because Kenny King was technically injured. So then Chris
They-
Sabin wasn't on the
They said
card.
multiple different times.
Frankie
that
Kazarian was injured.
from the night before. he wasn't in
Matches
that
got
rearranged.
rearranged.
match. Frankie Kazarian got replaced on night 2 with Scorpio Sky.
So I presume that this match was a result of that. Because why would you have Titus doing double duty on the pre-show and here?
But despite all that, I love the fact that Marty Scurll has the crowd in the palm of his hand. It's so cool to see. Yeah, there was one part where he was like pointing to the crowd, and they go, too sweet, whoop whoop, too sweet. You know, he'd point up, they go too sweet, and the
It's
crowd
like
would go
one sweet.
or
That's
one
right.
sweet, yeah.
And then when he does this spin around, everyone goes, chicken wing!
Yeah, and because he goes, chicken wing! Yeah.
Dude, I marked out when they did that at Revolution when Hangman did it.
What's the
True.
one sweet come from?
It's because the something about not being able to say too sweet anymore, so they
Because
switched it to one
WWE
sweet.
copyrighted it.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Oh, God.
So they had to
That's where
start
the cease
doing
and-
one
that's where
sweet.
that's where the cease and desist came from.
Yeah, so when the Bucks do a sharpshooter, the double sharpshooter, they call it cease and desist.
That's great. Okay. WWE is so petty, man. Get the fuck out of here.
I know, so they fucking literally trademarked a hand
It's
gesture.
funny because they trademarked
Yep.
it, but it's funny because they got so mad when it first appeared when
that-
the Click did it.
Is that why the one guy did it like with the other
He did
fingers
it.
up?
No, he did it.
Kikutaro?
He did that mocking them,
Kukataro was either mocking them or
Or-
just because it was comedy.
or because he's a fucking idiot.
Comedy. Despite what I said about being all over the place, I still enjoyed it. It's a 6. I give it a 6.
Gave it a 6.5. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. It didn't go too long, too, which is nice.
I mean, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 only because I get to say this: the first and original big dog, Rhett Titus.
True.
Which is true.
Yeah, Reigns
The
wasn't there
big
yet.
dog!
Oh, I don't know,
Rhett
since
Titus.
20 yeah, but- so how long has Rhett Titus been wrestling as Rhett Titus?
Ah,
The big dog.
When did he stop wrestling as
When did they do?
romantic touch?
When did the
well,
dogs
he
start up?
stopped wrestling as romantic. Let me look this shit up.
All right, moving on.
Doing research for the podcast.
in the
What
middle of the podcast. You
Yeah,
fucking
well,
dumbass.
also was a
How
random
unprepared
question.
are you?
He debuted in 2006,
Wow, so Roman Reigns wasn't even around yet.
and Romantic Touch ended in 2014.
Reigns wasn't a big dog yet in 2014.
He was still
with
the Shield, yeah.
Actually, 2015.
Either way.
Still, he didn't get the big dog name for a while.
Because
Yeah, until Michael Cole fell in love
he beat Will Ferrara in a match as Romantic Touch, and then he dropped the Romantic Touch gimmick and reunited with Kenny King for All Night Express.
the All Night Express.
with it. All right, let's go Bruiser.
Bruiser.
So then we had arguably the podcast's favorite match of the night just because of one person.
It's a podcast's favorite wrestler.
Beer City Bruiser took on Cody Rhodes for the Ring of Honor.
Of Honor.
Even when Bruiser botches a move, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best botcher in the world.
So
I don't think he botches here.
No,
So
he doesn't.
Bruiser and Silas come out, and then Cody comes out, and Cody does a promo pretty much going, "Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?"
Are you guys having fun?
You
Asks-
having fun?
Ask
You
the
having
ref
fun?
if he's having fun.
Yes, the
Ask
ref.
the commentator, Ian Riccaboni, if he's having fun.
Pulls the mic away from him before he even finishes answering.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
he-
I'm okay.
Then he goes, Silas Young needs a hug. And he says, Bruiser, you probably need one too.
Bruiser goes off on him here.
Bruiser is like, fuck you. I want to win that Ring of Honor because you're not giving me a title match because apparently you can't. Which makes no sense. He's the champion. He should be able to do that if he wants to.
Correct.
Yeah, how many people have lost titles because they get goaded into putting them on the line for no reason?
Yeah.
And then Bruiser goes, fine. Silas will win your championship. That's cool. But I want your ring. And I'm going to go pawn that shit.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have a beer party.
It's like, what,
One
what's-
night party for a $10,000
Yeah.
ring.
What's that ring worth? I'm gonna $10,000. Okay, I'm gonna go to the seediest, shadiest pawn shop.
I think he
In
said the
Milwaukee.
sleaziest.
Yeah,
one.
Milwaukee,
sleaziest pawn shop.
Wisconsin.
And we're gonna go back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and me and Silas are gonna start and get a party start an all-night party with the money off of that stupid ring, or whatever he said.
Yeah, and then Cody's like, fine, but if you lose, you're going to kiss the ring.
Ooh, cool.
Did that end up happening?
Yeah, he put the ring back on, and
he put the ring on, and then he forced Bruiser to kiss it. Well,
well,
Bruiser was knocked out.
Conscious, so it doesn't really count. Good job, Cody.
So Bruiser starts off by doing an elbow to Rhodes.
No means yes.
Bruiser does a double axe handle to Cody Rhodes. Bruiser then did a cannonball to the barricade because Rhodes moved.
That one was brutal because he actually hit the barricade and he landed on top of his head.
The chair too, yeah.
Rhodes threw Bruiser into the turnbuckle. Then Cody Rhodes is like, "Hey, I need some backup."
What the fuck was this?
So then,
Silas hadn't even done anything yet.
son Marty Skrull comes out.
Skrull.
They make out for a second.
Marty Skrull sprays some
They do.
cologne on Cody.
And they make out.
Then they hug.
What the fuck?
Then they kiss.
Yum.
On the lips.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
No tongue though.
That we're aware of.
You never know.
You can stick your tongue out tight-lipped. See?
Rhodes does a clothesline
Audio
to
podcast.
Bruiser over the top rope. Rhodes does a springboard crossbody to Bruiser. Bruiser does the cannonball to
That's so
Rhodes
funny.
off of the apron. God damn it. Silas Young starts choking Cody
We're
Rhodes.
the shits.
No shit.
Bruiser does a modified version of a Falcon Arrow to Rhodes.
That looked really cool.
Bruiser then spits beer at Rhodes.
Which
Which by-
after he got kicked, he took a shot, or I'm sorry, he choked
A
the beer,
swig, he took a
and
swig
then
of his
Cody
beer.
Rhodes kicked him in the gut, and then he spits it back in Cody's face.
Well, the best part about it is the commentary kept calling it a protein drink, and then they
Yeah.
kept referring it to beer, going, "That smells pretty hoppy to me."
yeah, Cole Cabana was great.
They're like, yeah, he's got that protein shake. Man, I don't think he's ever drank a protein shake
Yeah.
in his life.
Well, I can't remember who said that between those two.
I think Cabana did.
So then Bruiser did a splash in the corner and did the hip attack in the corner to Rhodes. Rhodes then did the disaster kick and a springboard drop kick and a scoop slam to Bruiser, which was very impressive.
It's called the
Yeah.
beautiful disaster here.
It was a good sequence.
So then Bruiser did a hip toss knee to the head to Rhodes. Rhodes did a chop block and a figure four to Bruiser. Bruiser then pulls in the ref to get out of the figure four while Silas Young rakes Cody's eyes. Bruiser then did a clothesline to Rhodes. Bruiser did a frog splash to Rhodes.
Yes, awesome.
Rhodes did an arm drag to Bruiser off of the top rope. And then did the crossroads to Bruiser. So Cody Rhodes wins and forces Bruiser to kiss the ring.
Yeah, he didn't force Bruiser to do anything.
Bruiser.
You got a guy sitting there unconscious. Okay.
He technically did force him though, because Bruiser didn't do it by choice.
Okay,
But the kissing thing involves actual movement from the person having to do the
correct.
kiss.
Yeah.
He
The,
just forced a ring down his throat for a second.
Bruiser's awesome. I can't say that. I can't say. God
We
damn it.
can't hate on this guy.
Still
I
waiting
will
on
never
that
hate on Bruiser.
moonsault. You promised it to us in our
I
Yeah,
will
but
settle-
this show is from 2017 before the promise was made.
promises. By the time this goes up, he does a moonsault in this.
Does it in the next match. Trust me.
I will settle for a 5-star frog splash from him any day.
Yeah,
so.
that fucking happened. That
Yeah.
was good.
That was awesome.
Still not a moonsault though, Bruiser. Get at it.
I think they could have. I think they could have cut some of the promo shit in half, but that's like you said. That's what Cody kind of does. He likes to hear his own voice and expound on things. And
Well, and Cody's also a story-based wrestler. He makes sure all of his
Right.
matches have some sort of story behind them, not just you versus me. Let's go.
I don't know if
Right.
he had. Well, they've had that too, but I don't know why he had to ask so many different people if they're having a good time to get to the point.
I agree with that. That part could have been cut.
Cody, I'm not. After the 5th person you asked, I'm not having a good time. Move forward.
or it's like, well, why don't you just ask everybody then?
Do you want to just go out to every crowd member?
Before I
You?
start this
You?
match, I'm going to ask every single one of you 2,000 people whether you are having a good time or not. And if one of you assholes says no, I'm leaving.
And I'm not coming back.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I didn't get why Marty's Girl had to come out. That whole thing was pointless. Marty's Girl didn't do anything.
Because he wanted to spray cologne on himself and kiss.
And then it added to. He's like, I need to make out Cody right now.
I mean, sexy time can wait till later, man. Come on.
Well,
Brandy's
he-
got a camera back there.
But
He's got to get ready.
the saddest part is, wouldn't you think if he was going to make out with someone, it would have been Brandy?
Heard?
No,
No,
no.
they've seen that a million times. They
Not-
need to
not
see
Marty.
They need to see his bicep.
I'll see it 1,000,001 times. That's fine.
1,001 trains long.
Oh, God.
So when I don't know, this match was good. It wasn't like a 5-star classic, but god damn it, I don't think it stopped for anything.
Bruce is the master of the 4-star keg stand.
True.
He was sitting on the keg when Cody came to the ring.
Pretty much all the notes that I got are the same stuff that you brought up.
Cody had a cool jacket too.
Think Bruiser could compete with?
Yeah, he did. It was like an American flag with like a long trench coat kind of deal.
Think Cody can compete with? Not Cody. Think Bruiser can compete with Viscera for the 7-star Love Machine?
I think at this point in time, Bruiser would be like the 9-star Love Machine.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
We actually like him.
Yeah.
We made it perfectly clear that Bruiser is the second sexiest man aside from Ryan Reynolds.
There is no one between. It goes Ryan Reynolds, Bruiser, 1A, 1B. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody else. That's it.
Wow.
Sexiest man in America.
You hear that, Bruiser? It's just... You and Ryan Reynolds, 1A and 1B.
And we are straight men, just so you're aware.
Manly men.
It's the no teeth in the beer and the not give a fuck attitude.
We love it.
All right, before I rate this match, I gotta know what a Mexican arm drag is.
Now, it's where they don't actually do an arm drag. It looks like an arm drag.
Honestly, I think the reason they said it is because it was a botch.
Yeah, nobody grabbed an arm. He just got a fucking...
Oh.
Bruiser kind of threw himself off, so Cody didn't grab the arm like he was supposed to.
No, you know what happened? The Invisible Man.
Yeah, he's there. He's in every match. Every time a botch
It
happens...
was a Hurricanrana.
Dude, that's a perfect way to explain every botch. The fucking Invisible Man jumped in there.
He's there. It's either Invisible Man or Invisible Stand, depending on whether the face or the heel botches.
Yeah, if the heel botches, it's the...
Well, this is the heel
Invisible
that...
Man.
Well, actually... Well, this one beyond Cody, technically, because Bruiser is going down no matter what.
Yeah, he did his
Who's
part.
performing the move?
Cody was
So
technically
he
the one
botched
that
it.
was...
So it's the Invisible Man who did it.
But
Okay.
the thing is, if Cody did it too, like, if Bruiser did his part of the move too fast, because Cody jumped up there, and then Bruiser went into the move, it didn't give Cody enough time to do the thing. It could be on Bruiser.
All right. So what's the date today? January 17th. What time is it?
Late.
It is 11/11, January 17th.
I wish Bruiser
2021.
to be the world heavyweight champion.
Okay,
I
so
wish Bruiser to be the world champion,
so
too.
on this day, there are no more botches in the world because we know why botches happen, but they're not botches.
We're going to start pointing out, hey, look, the Invisible Stand showed up.
Right.
The Invisible Man showed up.
There it is.
On this day, I
On this
see
day.
clearly.
Yeah, there are no more botches in the world of wrestling.
Botches don't exist.
Botches do not exist. I gave the match a 7. It was fun. It was whatever.
I gave it 7.5.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it 7.5 because Bruiser always gets that extra half a point, if you know what I mean.
true. Me too. 7.5 straight across the board. Here. Let's
He
go.
always gets that extra half an inch.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just...
He's great. Let's do a moonsault. Come on. I'm sorry.
You're getting a little angry. You're getting a little anxious.
Bruiser, I can't give you any higher praise than Ryan Reynolds. Give us a fucking moonsault. Then you could be 1A in this situation.
Albert needs a Snickers right now.
Yeah, right. I'm not me when I'm hungry.
I'll
tell you what.
There'll never be a sexier man in wrestling than Bruiser after he does a moonsault.
Yeah, because
I
if there's a match with a moonsault, I don't care what happens before it or afterwards. It's an automatic 10 out of 10.
You got that 10 out of 10 match from the new Dave Meltzer's over here.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzers.
We're the more serious Meltzers too.
Yeah, we take it all seriously.
1A,
All of it.
1B.
And then we're talking about Joey Ryan's dick.
Joey Ryan's dick, 1C.
Joey Ryan is on the show, so I mean we can't just sit there and neglect him.
Sure you can. His dick's getting neglected now that he's in trouble.
I mean, to be fair, he caused that himself.
I know.
Yes, he did. All right.
He went from all the attention from everybody to no attention and go away heat real fast.
So then we have a women's match.
Yes,
Women of
sir.
Honor match.
Madison Rayne versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Speaking of 1As.
Yeah. So first things first is Purrazzo drops onto Rayne's arm.
She does what?
Drops onto it.
Rayne's arm.
Gotcha.
Purrazzo is working on Rayne's arm.
Ow.
Purrazzo does a Russian leg sweep to Rayne.
Just gave myself a headshot with the belt.
Rayne does a running elbow to Purrazzo.
Ouch.
Rayne does a Northern Lights suplex to Purrazzo.
Look good.
Rayne does a ripcord cutter to Purrazzo.
That look good too.
Purrazzo does the Fujiwara armbar
If you accidentally say Reigns, I'm like, when did Roman get here?
to Rayne. And Deonna Purrazzo wins.
Oh.
They had a lot of nice counters and at the very beginning, but you can't necessarily write them down.
Nobody
Yeah,
names what a counter is.
I just wrote
This is a
like
Counter.
I wrote some chain wrestling, and then Purrazzo started going after the arm after that. I didn't. It's kind of hard to figure out. Like, I mean, unless you slow it down. When we don't slow things down anymore after what we saw today.
Slow it down. Right after some assholes got
Show tape.
Right after some people got some fucking thumbs shoved in the ass. You know?
Sorry, everybody. This is so funny.
The 10-man thumb in the ass trade suplex thing. Or
Yeah.
the ass flip or whatever they want to call it.
Again, I like the finish with the armbar, quick tap. Always like that kind of stuff. It sells the move. This match was good. I enjoyed it for as short as it was. Again, this is a match that could have gone a little bit longer had we not had the bullshit that was going to follow this.
Or the bullshit that followed at the beginning of it.
Yeah. What?
Cut all that Briscoe shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if
Some of that too.
you cut the Briscoe stuff, this would have been better.
Yeah, and but I'm definitely not gonna shit on it. I gave it a 7. I enjoyed it.
You?
Yeah, 7 sounds about right.
I'll do 7. I'll do 7 as well.
Yeah.
7 sounds about right. Not for the reasons of the match, but 7 sounds about right.
It's the same thing about the Liger Pillman match I reviewed. It's either you cut down on the spots and make them more impactful, or you get more time to get everything in. If this had more time, it would have been like an 8.
The daily match reviews is expanded. He's bringing it into the podcast now.
Yep, that's okay though.
It's not a separate thing anymore. It's part of the podcast now.
Yeah, so I mean, this match could have been a lot better
You're right.
had we had
Thank you.
had it more. This match could have been better if it had more time. That's
Spit
all
it
I
out.
mean.
Then we have the Kenny King
Get Joey
merch
Ryan's
spot.
lollipop out of your mouth and get the
No,
words out.
no lollipop.
No suckers. So then we have the Kenny King merch spot. He does this in every show we watch for these latest installments of Ring of Honor.
I think it's because the fact that it's a tour and they're together. I think that's the only reason why it's Kenny King, because all the other shows it's been like Silas Young and Woods had one.
Yeah.
Bruiser, I think,
I
had
was
one.
going to say Bruiser had
But the weird thing about Kenny King doing it is that he'll say it's like this, like a Young Bucks thing. No one wants to see the Young Bucks anymore. I mean, they get enough money, just throws it behind them. Another piece of merch, like whatever. But the Kenny King stuff's pretty good.
Well,
And
the Kenny King thing pissed me off this time around because the first thing he pulled out was that Beer City Brew koozie,
And
he's
then he
like,
threw
"You
it."
can buy this. You can buy this." He's just fucking trying things. How dare you disrespect the sexiest, the 1B, 1A sexiest?
the one
man
B
in
of
the
sexy men, yeah. But the weird thing is that like he's like,
grabbed the
oh,
Kenny
whatever,
King
this sucks.
merch.
Whatever, this sucks. I'm gonna take a little bit literally a little bit. You're basically throwing over your shoulder and discarding the things you're trying to sell. That's all.
Aside from the Kenny King merch, he's like, buy this shit, man.
Yeah.
This shit's good.
I'll be world champion if you keep buying my shit. Because I've been one sell.
I mean, to be fair, Jay Lethal bought his own shit.
That
Okay.
was great.
All right,
Isn't that Jay Lethal?
so I'm pretty much going to be holding down the fort for the next 20 minutes to half an hour before all this shit stops. All right, so I didn't write this shit down word for word. I got the gist of it, and
He's got a whole page of just people talking.
All right. I hope this makes sense. Okay, so Kenny King. Speaking of Kenny King, he comes out to the ring, and apparently he's hurt. He has his Ring of Honor Television Championship with him,
It doesn't feel right.
and he says first he starts off with OKC, rocking with the King, and that. So he says he's been a fighting champion. He'll continue to be a fighting champion, but he can't wrestle tonight because of an injury to his lip, like a
14 stitches.
14
from,
stitches in his lip.
From his mats the night before.
And the
Well,
Oklahoma.
he said he didn't get the stitches. He drank 14 beers.
Yeah, he
Oh,
said
that's
he drank
right.
14
Passed out.
But then he said he did get 14 stitches on commentary. He's a fucking liar.
Yeah, so the Oklahoma City Health Commission said he couldn't wrestle,
Fuck health commissions.
and so he instead of wrestling tonight, he decides he's going to hang out in commentary for the rest of the night, or at least he did anyway.
Okay, wait. So I'm going to bring this up because it leads into the Christopher Daniels thing. But how is Christopher Daniels able to wrestle with burn? Like they said, second and third degree burns on his back. Why would they allow him to wrestle if he can't wrestle?
Yeah, I don't know.
So Christopher Daniels comes out
Different rules for different fools.
and he says, "I said silence." He's being an arrogant heel, which I like.
At this point, Kenny King is doing commentary for the rest of the night.
Correct. And so he mocks Cody Rhodes by saying, "Is everyone having a good time?" But you know what? This is OKC. You're a garbage state. I don't care anyway. He says it's his destiny to be world champion.
Again.
He doesn't see why Dalton Castle should get a world title shot because he doesn't see Dalton Castle as a world champion. He's more of a comedian. He called him. And then he starts yelling at the crowd. Like, I don't care what you think, you young ass bag. You want to come? And it starts this talking to this one guy. He starts talking some
Because
shit.
somebody told him to get to the point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. He said either way. So either way, he says Dalton Castle can't beat me, and he won't ever say that to my face.
And then Dalton Castle came out.
And then Dalton Castle comes out.
Well, I love the fact that during the Daniels promo, they're interacting with him like, "Shut up! Get to the point!
Yeah.
Get
I'm
out
trying,
of here!
you fat.
We don't care!" That's the best thing. 'Cause these fans are ripping on him,
Well,
and he's ripping back.
But these Ring of Honor fans are great. They know how to respond correctly and not hijack the show at the same time. It's because WWE had that issue for a while where people would just hijack the show because it sucks or whatever.
It does suck. I like to pump their own crowd noise, and this is what you should be cheering for, you fucking idiots.
Woo! Roman Reigns, boo!
Yeah, if you just give the fans what they want, they will have fun.
Yeah, that sounds like something you've done already. Commentated on.
Fans having fun.
It's in the same universe.
It's WWE rant on the.
Yeah.
But, okay, so Dalton Castle comes out, and I noticed he had glitter on his mic, so I guess it's his personalized Dalton Castle mic. So he gets in the ring and says to Christopher Daniels, "Did you have something to say to me? To my face?"
Fans is out there doing deep.
And then
Yo,
Christopher Daniels says,
he's doing the deep downward facing dog, like super deep.
Oh, yes, right. He said he was in the back doing yoga, and he couldn't help but listen to Christopher Daniels say stuff, talk shit about him.
Was it DDP yoga?
He said he had no idea what he was saying, but he heard his name a lot, so he figured he should come out.
Was it DDP yoga by chance?
He didn't say anything about that.
He plugs that. Don't get a cameo from him. He plugs it in every single cameo.
Plus it's expensive.
So Castle says, "Did you have something to say to my face?" And Daniel says, "Well, I've beaten you twice. Don't be mad at the truth. And would you want to put up your title shot? Would you want to put up would you want to put your title shot in the line?" Then Dalton Castle, he does the interview thing where he repeats the question back to the person asking the question.
Do I want to put my title shot on the line?
And he says, "You must be a crazy person. You're looking at a top cock, baby."
The top cock thing was hilarious.
Especially when the fans are chanting "top cock."
Because they said cock.
And I noticed you're not in your gear, but I will accept the match right now if you want to do it. And Christopher Daniels like, "Oh, I don't know. But you know what? Don't get your ovaries in a bunch. I'm not ready to wrestle you right now." Castle says, "You're disappointing me. You're disappointing a lot of people." Then a ref comes out. And Dalton Castle says, "I'll fight you anytime, anywhere, whenever you're ready." But the second he turns around, Christopher Daniels jumps Dalton Castle, and they
tells the ref to ring the bell.
Yeah, and tells the ref to ring the bell, and they go and do their thing.
All right, so we got impromptu match: Christopher Daniels versus Dalton Castle. Daniels is a clothesline to Castle. Castle hits Daniels on the barricade. Castle does knees to Daniels off the top rope. Castle knee lifts to does a knee lift to Daniels. Daniels does a clothesline to Castle. Daniels does a standing side effect to Castle. Daniels does a chin lock to Castle. Daniels does a slam and a springboard moonsault to Castle. Castle does a gut wrench suplex to Daniels. Castle does belly to belly to Daniels. Castle does this very slow German to Daniels that you guys love.
Slow.
It's a good move.
Daniels does the STO to Castle. Daniels does the judo throw to Castle. And Castle does the bangerang to Daniels, so Dalton Castle keeps his title match.
That was good.
And as we know, he goes on to win that title.
Yeah. Castle, I think
that's why I said we know.
I think when I first started watching Castle, I wasn't sold on his gimmick and everything. But the more I see him, the more I dig him. He's starting to grow on me a little bit. The more I see him, and I think it's also like since we haven't done the Ring of Honor stuff in about 4 months. Maybe distance made the heart grow fonder, or time away, or whatever you want to call it. You right over there?
No, keep going.
He's dying.
Yeah. And but like when he came out, I was like, "Oh, cool, Dalton Castle's out here," and he actually was really good on the mic. And the same notes I got were pretty much the same thing that you got right there. I loved this match. It was like a 7 for me, even if it wasn't impromptu, and it followed about like an hour and a half of promos.
I gave it a 7.5, and the reason why I gave it a 7.5 is 7 just due to in-ring quality, but then after Daniels takes off his shirt, you can fucking tell his back is fucked up.
Yeah, you can see the burns, and he took bumps. He didn't shy away from it.
No.
I've had second-degree burns on my arm, and trust me when I say that it's really painful when you just lightly touch it. And he's over there taking like flat back bumps from like top rope.
Yep, he doesn't care.
Give it 7.
Yeah, it's a 7 kind of day.
Yeah, so this show is okay.
Yeah, it's a long show.
Yeah, that's kind of at the end of the next match. I was like, "Are we at the main event yet?"
It's like, I'm gonna eat my cheeseburger, man. Come on. But I like the
Don't eat cheeseburger, man. He needs to wrestle.
No, not the cheeseburger, my cheeseburger. But the
What do you ever do to you?
But this was this match took place because of the injuries as well.
I would presume so, yeah.
Yeah. And
Just
they went
because
out.
At this point in time, it was supposed to be the Kenny King title match against Chris Sabin. That never got to happen.
And this match went for like 10 minutes, and it was good. I don't think they stopped at all.
No.
Yeah. So kudos to them for just this quote unquote impromptu match was better than the other one, obviously. But I think also because the talent level is like way above the other two guys. No offense to either of them, of course.
Yeah, no,
Plenty
I
of
agree. Offense taken.
All right. Offense? Would you take it?
I took it home.
Get it? Offense
The
taken?
defense.
Get it? Not defense, offense.
Defense. I took the fence for defense.
So then, the Kingdom, TK Orion and Vinny Marcellia are taking on the Young Bucks.
I fell asleep in this match. God damn.
I took offense for defense. Yeah, you stopped taking notes.
I did.
So the Bucks did the do-si-do to the Kingdom.
Do-si-do.
Both Bucks, who also have FTRR shirts.
Get it?
Nick and Matt both do axe handles going F, T,
Yeah.
R,
Hit the move.
R.
And then hit the move.
Get it?
Oh, and they kept going to the cameras and audience members like, get it? You get it?
The commentators talked
Point to the right.
It's like,
point to
Kenny,
the left.
do you get it? Yeah, I get it. I don't.
And they did the FTRR axe handles to Marcellia.
They had FTR in their ass, too.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt does a drop toe hold and Nick does a leg drop to Vinny. The Bucks do a drop kick to Vinny. At this point, the Bucks do a head scissors drop kick combo to TK.
Tony Khan?
The Bucks do a tope to the Kingdom. Vinny does a tope and accidentally hits TK.
Oopsie.
Jesus, Tony Khan.
Bucks super kick Vinny. Vinny then does a head scissors to Matt. Vinny does a clothesline to Matt in the corner. Vinny does an STO to Matt. The Kingdom do a flapjack, then a senton leg drop combo to Matt. Kingdom do a spine buster headbutt combo to Matt.
Jesus, you just kind of died off there real quick.
Matt does a standing sliced bread to TK. TK does a big boot to Matt.
Damn, Tony.
The ref shoves TK for some reason. Nick does a bulldog clothesline combo to the Kingdom. Nick does a dive onto the Kingdom. Nick does an X Factor springboard moonsault to the Kingdom.
It looked really good.
Bucks do a moonsault senton to Vinny. The Kingdom they do like an assisted Death Valley driver to Matt Jackson.
Yeah, there's one has the Death Valley driver, and they get the other one up for.
Which I don't understand how that would help, but whatever. Matt does a spear to TK. Matt does a buckle bomb to TK as
I don't know why Tony Khan hired these guys. They're kicking his shit.
Nick kicks TK. The Bucks do a super kick to the Kingdom. The Bucks do a Meltzer driver to Vinny. The Young Bucks win.
Yeah. Yay.
I don't understand the Meltzer driver. What is it?
It's just he just does a flip and sometimes hits the guy's ass while he's doing a tombstone. Sometimes misses.
It really depends. The thing that I hate is when they're attempting to do the Meltzer driver or the Indie Taker, to be honest, and the one guy gets pulled off. So
and
Nick gets pulled off.
It always turns into a roll up.
It always turns into a reversal.
No,
It's like, fucking just hit your tombstone.
As far as I can tell, any Young Bucks match I watch and they attempt either of those moves, I think they always hit them. I haven't seen that roll up yet.
They attempted it once in the very beginning and they got rolled up.
The biggest one that comes to mind when it does is when they did the tag team tournament for the AEW titles. In the first round, they lost to the Private Party because they rolled them up.
Do you guys notice the difference between styles of the Young Bucks between Ring of Honor and AEW?
They're pretty much the same.
It's cleaner. I'll say that.
It's not as spotty.
It's still spotty. It's just they hit the spots cleaner, so it looks better.
It's about the same.
I feel like it looks. I don't think it's them that's making it look. I think the talent taking it is making it look clean.
It could be production.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's why it looks cleaner. Production is a big part.
The Terminator spot in the middle was fun when the Kingdom tried to do it, and then Vinny Marseglia got caught in the middle of it.
That was hilarious because they're both
Yeah,
waving
hi.
at him. Hi, hi.
Other than that, I pretty much got the same note you did. I'll be honest. I stopped taking notes and like halfway through this match, and then I caught the end of it because it picked up with those cool double teams by the Kingdom and the Bucks. That X Factor moonsault looked freaking fantastic. The Spinebuster headbutt looked really cool.
Oh.
But like to me, it just seemed like a regular paint by numbers Young Bucks match.
That is true. That's what I was gonna say. But I was gonna say when you guys were talking about the Melch driver and shit, I'm glad that they they took the golden triggers and made the BTE triggers, because I at least think that's a better finishing move than say the Indie Taker and shit like that.
So one of the issues I have with the Bucks isn't obviously their talent. They're freaking awesome. They're good.
Well,
And
Nick is.
But like I just said, a lot of their matches are so repetitive, especially in Ring of Honor. The only match that I've seen by them that was really great was the one we were talking about earlier with the
Hangman and Kenny.
Yeah, Hangman
and
Kenny.
FTR was good too.
Yeah, and FTR was great. Maybe and so that's why I was asking if there's a style difference between Ring of Honor and AEW, but you said there isn't much of one.
The basic Young Bucks matches are basic Young Bucks matches.
Yeah, they're about the same.
The only way the Young Bucks match has changed is based off of the moves that the other teams are hitting on them, not really what the Young Bucks are doing.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Bucks are going to do their signature stuff, but maybe it is talent that's a difference. The other team's style, maybe they just don't work together. I don't know.
say list off the ones you like and say FTR or Hangman and Kenny. Like that's your top four, your top guys right there.
There you go. Despite the fact this match was like it seemed boring to me. It didn't suck. It was boring because I've seen it 1,000 times. I still gave it a 7. It was still pretty good.
Yeah, it's a Young Bucks basic max 7. 7's about where I start with Young Bucks matches, and it didn't pick up.
I gave it a 7.5.
Of course you did. You're the mark.
It's not even that. It's the fact that the Kingdom is a little bit more green compared to the Bucks. So it's just they don't have the best chemistry.
Yeah, and not to mention, despite how I feel about some of the Young Bucks matches, they didn't fuck up. So kudos to them for always nailing this shit and making sure that they bring out a good match out of guys who are lower down on the card.
When you do it a million times, you're usually not gonna mess it up.
But I mean, there's always that one day. But like, everyone's gonna rip on them when they do. When they do.
When they do.
What are you doing watching them do?
But when they have a severe fuck up, people are gonna unfairly give them shit.
That was fake.
Because like
that wasn't her.
The 1,000 times they'll do a Meltzer driver and they'll fuck it up once, and people are gonna shit on him for it, and that's unfair.
Well, it's like when Christopher Daniels did the BME and fell flat on his face. That turned into a whole storyline that he couldn't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah, they turned it into a storyline.
Hey, that's as productive as a thing to do as anything. So, I mean, yeah, 7 for me. So.
All right, so we got the main event.
Thank God.
Survival of the Fittest.
I'm hungry.
At this point in time, I'm like, thank God.
Survival of the Fittest finals, 6-man battle royal. And all of these men had qualified in the previous 2 nights, which makes sense.
Yeah, if you watched the videos 4 months ago, you know what we're talking about.
But you got Matt Taven versus Jonathan Gresham versus Shane Taylor versus Damian Martinez versus Silas Young versus Flip Gordon.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you got all of it. It's all you, bud.
So Gresham and Gordon are doing some really nice counters at the very beginning. Then Martinez, actually then at this point, Silas Young gets in there and starts bitching at him. So there's like a 3-way standoff.
So now we're going from 2 people in the ring. Now we have 3 people in the ring.
Now we have 4 people in the ring.
Then Taven gets in and starts bitching.
And then we get 4 people in the ring.
And then the 2 legal men tag out to the big guys.
Yep, to Taylor and Martinez.
Well, y'all stop tagging out anyway, so.
So then they do.
Well, at this point they were still tagging. There's only a minute in.
Yeah, so then Taylor and Martinez do the double clothesline spot. Gresham does a Hurricane Rana to Taven. Gordon does a drop kick to Young.
Not to interrupt you, I just gotta do this right now. I was gonna just thought about you guys went to 5 Guys before you came over here, right?
No.
Or wherever you went.
Yes, kidding.
Yeah. Fucking. Did you have a sweatshirt over the shirt you're wearing when you walked into?
I had my jacket on.
Oh damn! I was really hoping that the guy would see you walking around, probably wearing a Blue Chew shirt.
I don't think about. Oh, well, yes, on the back of the shirt.
Yeah, it says Blue Chew on the back.
Yeah.
That's really why I asked, because I can read it.
Random as shit.
Gordon does a drop.
That's what his head do is on my head.
Gordon does a drop kick to Young. Taylor then does a springboard kick to Gordon. Martinez does a spinning heel kick to Taylor. Gresham and Taylor do a tope to Martinez. Taylor does a cannonball to Martinez and Young and Gresham and Taven. Gordon does a springboard crossbody onto everyone outside. Gordon does a super kick to Taven. Taven does just the tip to Gordon. Taven does a neck breaker to Gordon. Taven does a frog splash to Gordon. At this point,
What are you doing?
Just a tip.
At this point, the Kingdom run out, and
Oh yeah.
Taven attempts to hit him with
This and
his
that,
stick.
and an axe.
Then the ref notices and takes it away.
and a bat.
Then he tries to take TK Orion's bat and hit Gordon with it.
Then
Ref takes it away.
Then a fucking axe.
Then he takes Vinny's
Axe.
Then he takes Vinny's axe and tries to hit him with that,
Fucking hatchet. Like
and he takes it away.
He kicks him in the balls.
Then he kicks him in the balls,
ding,
and
ding, ding, ding.
Taven is eliminated.
God damn it.
He's like, no, I got a 3 count. It's like, dude, you kicked him in the balls. You got caught cheating 4 times. And then they call conspiracy.
Yeah, that's their gimmick, right?
So then Taylor does a Rikishi driver to Gresham. Martinez does a heel kick to...
A raw Kishi driver.
Right?
God damn it. Martinez does a heel kick to Taylor. Martinez and Young do a superplex to Taylor.
I could.
Gordon does the 630 splash to Taylor, and Taylor gets eliminated.
It kind of says Young Bucks.
Actually, no. After Gresham does the shooting star headbutt, then Taylor gets eliminated. Sorry. Gresham does a moonsault to Young. Gresham does a tope to Martinez. Gresham then does a crossbody to Young.
Who am I?
Gresham does a corner drop kick to Martinez. Martinez does a choke slam to Gresham, and Gresham gets eliminated. Young does a springboard clothesline to Martinez. Young then does a double leg suplex to Young. Martinez does a splash to Young. Young does a terrible looking DDT to Martinez. Gordon does a springboard Hurricane Rana to Young off the top rope, which actually looked really cool. Young does the backbreaker clothesline to
Isn't that
Gordon.
the one he rolled into a pin?
Mm-hmm.
Because then he didn't really do it to him. He got reversed from it.
Martinez does the top rope heel kick to Young. Young then does this running slam and a springboard moonsault to Martinez, which actually looked really cool for him. Martinez does the psycho driver to Young. Then Martinez does the choke slam to Young, and Young is eliminated.
Big man do choke slam.
So this is where shit starts picking up really big here.
Damian Priest.
Flip Gordon.
So
Gordon flip.
at this
I
point,
flipped
Martinez launches Gordon into the barricade.
I'm gonna flip you something real quick.
So he launches Martinez launches Gordon into the barricade, which is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Gordon does a top rope kick to Martinez. Gordon does a 619 on the top rope to Martinez, which was fucking impressive looking, actually. Gordon does a springboard sling blade to Martinez. Gordon does a Samoan drop, standing moonsault, and then a top rope moonsault and a 450 splash to Martinez.
No, another 450 class.
Then Gordon does another 450 to Martinez.
Jesus.
Martinez does a spinning heel kick to Gordon. Martinez then splashes Gordon in the corner. Then Martinez is the last ride power bomb, a clothesline, and a curb stomp to Gordon.
Yep.
And Damian Martinez wins.
I thought that Gordon was going to win after that second 450. It just looked like it was a good way to end it. But they freaking made a better way to end it by pretty much like using some WWE signature moves in there at the end with the stomp and what was the other one?
They did a last ride.
Yeah.
Last
He did
ride.
a discus clothesline, which is technically Brody Lee's thing.
Yep.
Holy shit, that was a fun way to end the show.
At the end, like in the middle and the beginning, kind of dragged on.
Yeah. I thought the one of the funnier spots was at the beginning when I think it was Taven and who was he paired with? Where
Silas.
Silas and they're talking to each other, and I think Shane Taylor's here, Punishment Martinez is here, and they're
Like,
both
he's
like,
behind
look
you.
behind you. Yeah, look behind you. No, you look behind you, and they turn around and start getting their asses kicked.
Yep, that was pretty good too.
I did take some notes in this match. I'm not
Fucking
trying to be
shuts his
lazy.
notebook.
6 hours of wrestling, man. Sometimes it wears you
You're not
out.
done yet, is he? Fuck, what did I say? You're not done yet either.
Yeah, but I'll have like an hour to recharge. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, that's right.
Yeah. By the way, after the match, Cody comes up with his belt, holds it up, and looks around the crowd.
I said Jesus Christ. Cody came out. You're called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martinez looks at him and smiles, and then Cody walks away and salutes Martinez for winning the match.
I swear to God, Cody probably thinks he's Jesus. At least Jesus Christ of wrestling.
Probably.
He wants to bring back a revival of wrestling fans.
But yeah,
Resurrect wrestling.
I'm glad they evolve sometimes when it starts off with like 2 guys in the ring and then it goes to 3 and then 4 and then everybody. But why even say you're gonna have like a 6-way match
rule.
and have a tag rule at all? But like, I mean, it's still fun. Don't get me wrong. But like, because they know how to pace it and have 1-2 guys in the ring, and then like 2 guys on the outside of the ring, so we can at least focus. So we know where to focus. It's better than a battle royal, which is what I thought it was at the beginning. So instead of like guys get thrown off the top rope, it's pins. But there's still it's too much to keep track of, and I was like, I'm fucking tired.
All right, so note to self for daily match review: send them battle royals.
Yeah.
Yep.
The battle royals are fucking easy to watch. Just wait till the end. But
Just wait till
make or
the
break whether it's good or not.
yeah. But every pin in this had to be important, and there's the only really good one as far as eliminations was Matt Taven because it was a storyline pin. Or, I'm sorry, a storyline
DQ.
situation.
DQ, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, it was just like, okay, how are we gonna get these guys out of here? Until the end when it was just really good sequences by Gordon and Martinez.
Flipping Martinez was the best part of the match. Yeah. It gives me an extra half a rating based just on that.
It definitely was. So what would you guys rate that?
I gave it a 6.5. It was except for the Taven part, it was all pretty kind of boring. Like I said, stretched out.
I wonder how you would have felt about it had we watched this show before the Rumble 2000.
You know what? Maybe down the line, if we're gonna do a Ring of Honor show, I'm sorry, if we have a WWE show I've seen 100 times, we should do that second. You know,
that's fair. I think we did it this way because
we were anticipating.
We did that this way, and
a phone call that didn't happen.
I'm gonna break kayfabe real quick here about the times that we record this. We did it this way because I can stack this one, pretty much place it wherever I want to, and the Royal Rumble is actually on the schedule. It needs to go up at a certain time.
Plus, honestly, it's just a way to get this show out of the way because we did day 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then I died for 2 months.
Yeah, I still
have all that shit I haven't posted.
I know.
Yeah, so
that's why they're in the RW vault.
Because I didn't participate. I'm not as much of
it's like the Disney vault. It's the RW vault.
3 years from now, you'll finally get those well-wanted Chris and Albert solo podcasts.
And then there's also some old ROH and some old TNA.
Yeah, they're still hard to kill out there.
What would you give it?
Yeah, so I didn't rate it. I gave it 7.
I honestly gave it a 9 because the end was so fucking smooth and crisp.
I agreed with him all the way up until the last 2, and then I gave it a half a star up because
you guys were distracted by Family Guy as well, though. I was trying not to be.
That was after the match.
No, that was during the match.
I saw a few at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the chicken getting COVID and
the chicken getting COVID thing was at the end. It was after the match because he said that. He was back in it when the show ended. Because
I was paying close enough attention, and on top of that, I guess I might because I know where the trajectory goes for these guys. It was kind of weird.
You're the ROH mark, man.
It was kind of weird not to see them interact with Kenny King though, because technically at the pay-per-view they're in a fatal 4-way with Silas, Martinez, Taylor, and Young.
The stupid thing I have with that, with the Kenny King thing, was because he said in the promo he listed off the 3 people,
and he said, "Yeah, come
get
it."
You guys want to come at me? I'll be on commentary." And he's on commentary for 3 straight matches, and nobody does anything. I thought when frickin' Taven got disqualified, he was going to do something. Now he just walked away.
Well, see, with Taven, it made sense because he wasn't involved in that match, but like.
So I thought somebody would do it.
When Taylor was eliminated, he could have went after Kenny King.
Yeah, you could see him just call out Kenny King, but that was taken away from the main event, though. I think.
But a fucking 9?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna let you do that. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with when he gave the really good Derby match 9.5. I don't know where you got 9.5 from.
But the thing is like I said, had we watched this match maybe alone or even
first before the Rumble, perhaps
before the Rumble show,
if I watched it alone.
No, I'm saying like had we had watched it as a standalone match, you guys might have reviewed it better, but.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm a little worn out, so...
Match placement is what the biggest issue is on this card.
Yeah, you wanted to bring that up.
So, honestly, if I was reorganizing this whole card, don't get me wrong, I would keep a lot of the matches where they are, but I would have made the Kukataro match I would have put that in the place of the Christopher Daniels Dalton Castle match right after the women.
No, I would have put that right before the main event because that's the perfect spot for like a comedy spot match.
Maybe, yeah.
It's what AEW did at Revolution. They put Orange Cassidy and Pac right before the main event.
Right.
Could have did that too. I just thought that match was kind of misplaced, just being the third match on the card that was actually quote unquote a match.
I was gonna say 'cause nothing really happened up until that match. So you're like, okay, nothing happened here. All right, here's a comedy match. So you're like an hour and a half into the show before you even get anything.
Yeah, you're not even
Like
an
actual-
hour. You're not even an hour in at this point.
like,
you got the
you just-
comedy match, and you're like, okay, that's in a wrong spot.
You didn't give them anything like really good. That's why you like to open with one of your top match, like one of your supposedly good, because you want to get them hot. You start with a good match. You get the crowd going.
Which they did that really well. They did, Woods and Lethal being the opening match, good choice. But then you could have cut out the Gregory James cheeseburger match and the Briscoe cheeseburger match just because they're not going to finish that fucking Gregory James match, so fuck that. Throw that out of there.
They could have just cut the Briscoe stuff and let the first match happen.
They could have did that too, but I mean, if you're
But
gonna
no, the Briscoes are stars. They got to be on the show.
If you're gonna do the Briscoe stuff, cut it out.
I mean, they gotta get paid, so.
I mean, they could have been. They could have been paid by being on commentary.
Wasn't Survivor the
Something.
Fittest night one? Wasn't that the Bullet Club one with Stephen Amell that we did?
Yes.
That has Kenny Omega in it.
Yes.
How did they not get Kenny Omega for either of the other two shows?
Money.
I mean, he was in the U.S. He didn't just fly over here for one show.
It's either getting paid or it is like the way he would have got booked. One of the two.
Yeah, because looking back at the notes on the other shows or on the other nights, they made those ones. They spaced them out better with matches that they put in a row.
I just feel like I definitely know I enjoyed night one more than any of the nights, but I think I enjoyed, if I remember correctly, I enjoyed night two better than this one too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I mean, the main event part of it, I enjoyed better than the other two nights. But
the first night's main event was just great. The Bullet Club with Stephen Amell. I don't care. It was great.
It was great. Like, don't get me wrong, all three of them had great main events because that one had the Bullet Club and Stephen Amell versus.
Wasn't Cody and Daniel's title match the main event for the second night?
Yep. Which that was a great match too, but I mean, I don't know.
But yeah.
Survival of the Fittest 2017 is in the books now, so
Finally.
Four
we're
months
done.
later.
We're done with that story arc.
What story arc? Okay. Yeah, alright, we're out of here.
We're out.
Bye.
Peace.